BlackHighPriestess. So, black women, we have to have a serious talk. I just watched a reel. Um, Brent Fayez. I'm not sure. I posted the link to it so you guys can look at it. And he he explains, and I wrote down specific things, but he is basically explaining um what I mean when I say that black men hate beautiful black women and why. Black men hate beautiful black women, and on a spiritual level, um, you're dealing with the aspect of witchcraft, the outer beauty that a witch has that differentiates her from women, and that is a representation of the gifts that she has that are heavenly that differentiate her from other women. We're not talking about satanic witches who have made sacrifices or done specific rituals to have a pact with Satan or a demon that gives them power. We're talking about blood-born witches that have supernatural gifts that are rare and uncommon in humanity. One being rare beauty, rare empathy, rare intuition, rare cooking skills, rare Reiki skills, or which I'm using Reiki as a short term or as a skill that would involve the ability to heal through placing hands on someone. Um, Telekinesis, a lot of kinetic powers, and sorcery, um, ability to work with elements. Um, these things are gifts. And I talk a lot about being Christ-like and how Christ healed, and how Christ didn't sit pretty, in the temple and, just light incense, and how he went out and he dealt with sinners, he dealt with the sick, he dealt with tax collectors, or so to speak, people who were considered traitors to the Hebrew nation. Um, so this particular video, this guy is talking about, he's basically saying how he changed his perspective. He dated a beautiful woman, a woman that he was attracted enough to date, one that other guys thought was bad. So, he's looking at her value based on not only him being attracted to her, but other men approving that attraction by them also finding her attractive. And he goes on to say how he's essentially saying that he no longer judges a woman's worth by her beauty and by other men's approval of that woman, but he now has learned how to judge a woman's worth by other women's approval of that woman. And this is herein lies the number one way that a man castrates himself, when he stops seeking approval from men and starts seeking approval from women. That is how a man castrates himself. And he learned that behavior from probably a single mother, but from his mother. He learned how to prioritize um, women and women's feelings and women's emotions, and um, he learned how to prioritize women's jealousy. from his mother. So and then this is a short reel, it's a minute or two. He goes on to say, and I quote, he goes on to say, other bitches may not be as pretty, but he says, he goes on to say, but they have more, he's saying that they have more personal power because other women gravitate toward them. He's saying he looks at how other women receive the woman he's with. And he says that, you know, if you go into a room and other women don't gravitate towards her, he notices that, and he says that it's because there's nothing friendly or nothing warming about the woman. And again, inevitably, without fail, he goes on to say, and he uses the word bitches, he doesn't use the word women, he uses the word bitch when he's talking about the woman who is inevitably less attractive than the one that he chose because she was high value in the world of men. And he says other bitches may not be as pretty, but he says they are more powerful. He's saying that they are more powerful because they have approval of other women. Okay, so black women, one of my like highest grossing and most watched videos on YouTube is called Why Black Men Hate Pretty Women and Only Date Ugly Girls. This is a subject I can't stress enough, and it's not just black men, but the high level of single motherhood in the black community, and the high and the dysfunctional matriarchal status in the black community as a result of the castration of black men in slavery in America. The dysfunctional matriarchy is so rampant that this is widely going to apply to black men, and this more so is going to apply to black women who are already getting the shortest end of the stick when it comes to dating in America, because we are not considered the standard of beauty. So, as a black woman, you have to understand the psychology of the inferior man. First and foremost, I want to address, I hope you guys can hear me, but first and foremost, I want to address why a man who is dating a woman that he chose because he found her attractive and because he valued her because other men found her attractive. Why would you let this be the standard that you have for beauty? Why would you let your attraction to a woman fade because of how other women feel? Why would a man who's dating a beautiful woman care what other women think of his woman? Why is a man who chose a woman because of her beauty, because she's high value, because she looks better than other women? She's a woman like every other woman. She's no different than other women other than the fact that she looks better. That's why she's higher value. And this is what I mean when I'm saying, and I've entitled this, Why Oshún Remains Undefeated by Women. Remember, Oshún helped the men defeat women by helping the women dance and have fun and forget that they were at a war with men. Now, when a woman is beautiful, she does attract. She attracts everything. A man should not be worried about what other women think of his woman. You should never be worried about what another woman who is not as beautiful as your woman thinks. You should be smart enough to understand how jealous women are. But why is a man playing dumb, and instead of protecting the woman who is more beautiful than other women, why is he saying, oh, well, I don't want to date her anymore because other women don't like her and other women don't gravitate toward her? And I'm really asking women this. The answer is that man cares more about what other women think than about how his woman feels. Because one, he was probably raised by a woman who ran the household, a single mother, or a woman who was not kept in check by her husband. So he was probably raised by a woman with jealousy toward other women because she was not a beautiful woman. That's probably the foundation of that sentiment. Not having a man in the home to tell you how to be a man, which leads to being attracted to the most beautiful woman. He can't fight. When a man is castrated, when a man is not confident in his ability, when a man cannot fight, and when a man is broke, or when a man just does not like you because you are ugly to him, he's gonna degrade you. And when a man is insecure about those things, he's not gonna want to be seen with you in public. If he's insecure about how much money he has, his ability to physically fight, or about your looks, meaning he is insecure to bring you around his friends. Now, when you're beautiful, a man's not going to want to be seen in public with you if he is broke, because he knows you can easily leave with another man who has more money than him if another man with more money than him chose to come at you. And you know, a lot of men don't want to, in this day and age, a lot of men do not approach women. They're afraid of women, but real men do. And if you are not dating a real man, he's not going to want to be seen in public with you. If he can't fight and you look good, he's not going to want to be seen in public with you. He's not going to be able to defend you against other men that are going to come at you and holler at you, and they're going to more so challenge him as a man. What makes you think you can have the best woman? I'll fight you over her. I'll challenge you over her. I'll punk you in front of her. I'll uh embarrass you in front of your woman to show her that she can do better because of how she looks. So you have to understand, ladies, black women, when a man chooses you because you look good, and then he does not defend you against other women, don't, just leave him alone. Don't talk to him again. Definitely don't marry him. You got to understand why a lot of black men are castrated. And the I talk a lot about being single because there's three reasons that women are single. You're either beautiful, um, you're black, or you're butch. And your demeanor and your energy gives uh gives the message that you do not like men. It probably comes from some sort of trauma. So these are the reasons why women are single. You're either beautiful, you're black, or you're butch. The reasons men mistreat women and don't bring women in public is because the woman is either beautiful, she's ugly, them guys broke, or they can't fight. So ladies, what think about what reason would a man want to date the most beautiful woman only to discard her because other women don't like her? Well, here's where I get to the fruit flies aspect of this upload and the spiritual message behind my response to this reel about this guy, basically showing how bitch made he is because he can't because he dated a beautiful woman and realized he can't defend her honor. So now he doesn't want to date beautiful women anymore. He wants to date ugly women that attract other women that everyone likes, that's warm and friendly. The flies aspect and Beelzebub being Lord of the Flies. I specifically said fruit flies, Oshún being the witch, witchcraft dealing with the apple, dealing with the sacred fruit, also known as a pomegranate, dealing with the sacred fruit for the tree of life. Now, like I said, when you have the gift of Oshún, when you have the gift of beauty, of attractiveness, and that is your gift, you automatically have more power than other women because you have everything that other women have, but so much more that they don't have and cannot access unless they access you. So you got to understand, when a man is worried about your ability to keep other women around you, buzzing around you like flies, because the reason other women gravitate to other beautiful women is if you're friendly, if you're nice or naive. If you're warm, if you're kind, if you're all these things, then they will gravitate towards you because they feel like they can take what you have. If you are mean, if you are stoic, if you demonstrate that you are fully aware of, that you're different, that you have power, and that you own your power, and that other women cannot manipulate you into sharing your power with them when they have not earned your respect, when they have not earned your love, when they have not earned the rights to what you were gifted with. When you demonstrate that you cannot let other women manipulate you into acting like your friend when they are trying to steal something from you, then other women are not going to gravitate toward you. They're going to gravitate away from you. And why would a man care about your ability to attract other women if he's thinking about spending the rest of his life with you? Because you got to understand something about the inferior man, which mostly and widely is the black man. The inferior man has to have women around him to survive. He cannot measure up to other men. He gets by through keeping women around him, keeping a harem of women around him, just like the male lion lets the women do all the hunting. The harem of women that he has, they do all the hunting. You got to understand that about the inferior man, the feminine man. He cannot fight. He cannot hunt. He needs women to hunt for him. Probably because his mother didn't let him develop into a man, or he just did not, or his father did not care enough to make sure he grew up to be a man and pass the rites of passage as a man. Most likely. So when the inferior man who cannot hunt, he uses women to get other women. He wants a woman who is beautiful but stupid so he can cheat on you. And if you are stoic as a woman and you are not out here to make friends with women because you're here with your man and you're concerned about your man and you're not concerned about everybody else who isn't you and your man, you know, and your man is worried about why are all these other women not coming around me? It's because I got this beautiful woman. So he goes from, oh, she's beautiful, other guys like her, I can use her, to, oh shoot, I went on a date with her and other women didn't approach me. She was so beautiful that other women didn't even try to disrespect her by flirting with me. That's not good for me, because as a man, my goal is not to marry this beautiful woman and make her happy. My goal is to use a woman to get ahead in life. And I can't multiply the women in my life with her. I thought she was stupid, and I thought that I could use her to attract other women and have other female friends that I could have around me and use a bunch of other women to do things for me as a man that I cannot do for myself. I want the respect of my male friends by having a beautiful woman, but at the end of the day, my end goal is not to be a respectable man. My end goal in life is not to have a bunch of strong men around me. My end goal in life is to have a bunch of women around me doing things for me that I have no plans on doing for myself as a man. If he was a real man, he would not be afraid to marry a beautiful woman, because he would be around other men, the men in his life who he was close to, he would be able to trust. Because they would be strong, disciplined men, and they would be strong and disciplined because they know how to fight. If he was a real man, he would be concerned about keeping his woman happy, not what her looks could do for him other than arouse him in the bedroom. He would be able to go out into society and make his own way without a woman, and he would be able to be confident in, number one, his ability to satisfy a woman, his ability to fight, and his ability to make money enough to be with a beautiful woman, instead of saying, I need a woman that I can use to get a job, to get in the door, to get this opportunity, to impress this person and impress that person, because I need this to use this person and that person for something. You got to understand that about the inferior man. All he cares about in a woman is how he can use her as a tool. And most men automatically think that they can use a woman for her looks. And this is why I warn witches with the gift of Oshún's outer beauty, her inner beauty, her when she made the women dance and forget that they were in a fight with men, she just was being herself, and she was convincing the women that they were as happy as Oshún is for being beautiful. She gave them the energy of being beautiful, and you never want to fight when you're beautiful. You want to celebrate the gift that you have of being beautiful and the pleasure that comes with being beautiful. So ugly women always want to fight. because they are not aroused. They don't arouse themselves. They don't experience themselves and get aroused. They experience themselves and get a bad taste in their mouth, so they constantly want to fight. They hate who they are. That's what makes people angry. And that's what makes black men and black women angry. Constantly being and thinking of yourself the way white supremacy taught you to think of yourself. As ugly, as violent, not worthy, oppressed, constant victim. So when you're dealing with an inferior black man, the number one way to know that a black man is inferior is by his woman. If he's dating a white woman, I'm sorry, he's inferior. In America, we have too much climate of racism for a black man to not be dating a white woman to make a specific statement. And the statement he's making is, I feel inferior and I am using this woman. I'm hiding behind her skirt so I don't have to fight my way through life. And I'm using her as a shield so I don't have to fight racism. And it is the same concept when a black man chooses an ugly woman. That's why that's why it's a double whammy when he chooses an ugly white woman. He's really showing how inferior he is. But the biggest form of inferiority is the black man choosing to just be homosexual and to opt out of protecting any form of woman or any form of femininity, and just saying, I'm just going to opt out of that God-given role and I'm going to choose to be with another man, or I'm going to choose to be feminine beneath a man that is stronger than me. You know, and he can't be too much stronger if he's choosing to be with a man instead of being with a woman, unless he's locked up. So you got to understand that this is all dealing with the inferiority. And back to Oshún and her attractiveness and her magnetism. When you're dealing with fruit flies, you're dealing with these women that like to come and buzz and fly around and flock to the most beautiful woman in the room. And witches, especially black witches, you got to understand, you are way more powerful when you are attracting men and repelling women. That's your most powerful. I'm not saying that you are not going to attract women, but you want to attract the women and the men that are really, really brave enough to approach you with respect. You want to be so beautiful and so no bullshit and so low tolerance and so unaccepting of other people's jealousy and bullshit and unaccepting of their unfriendly, not warm energy and unaccepting of their falsehood. Remember, Oshún, you're a mirror. You are the daughter of the mirror. You are the daughter of Yemaya. You are the daughter of the seven seas. You are the fresh water mirror. So you are necessary. And without you, people will thirst and dry out and die. And that's what happened to the Orisha when they thought they could discard Oshún. So when you are a daughter of Oshún and you are a blood-born witch, it is not your job to go out being friendly and being warm and doing this, and that. That is when you're dealing with the Christ-like energy. When you're dealing with voodoo. And not Ifa. All this being nice and cool head and you know. No, when you're dealing with voodoo, you're dealing with the life path that when you walk the road of a certain element and a certain power and a certain gift. Okay, when you're dealing with voodoo, not Ifa. you know. And then not Lukumi either. We're not hexing anyone, all right? We're not making any dolls. We're not doing Lukumi either. I'm not talking about voodoo, okay? I'm talking about voodoo. When you're dealing with the craft, when you're dealing with the ancestral powers of forces of nature, and especially water that holds the element that holds memory the most, other than earthly one, or other than stones and wood, water holds the most memory because it's constantly being recycled, and it touches everything on the planet, you know. It's constantly being recycled through precipitation and evaporation and condensation. And we have Oya to thank for carrying the water up into the air. We have Oya to thank for that. We're dealing with Vodun. When you are a daughter of Oshún, and you are more powerful than other women because you look different than them. Because you look different than them. Not just in the face, because your body is shaped different. Because you, from how you look, attract everyone's attention to you because of how you look, how you move, how you sound, because everything about you awakens and arouses the senses. That's why you're a daughter of Oshún. You arouse the senses, starting with vision, ending with orgasm. When you are a daughter of Oshún, and when women and other women want to be around you, you are at your most powerful when you are showing that you are wielding and in control of your power, so much so that only the bravest men approach you for a date, for sex, for what a man naturally should want from a woman. Just really one thing, her hand in marriage, so to speak, sex. Um, and that only also that only the bravest and wisest and genuinely most friendly women approach you. Brave, Oya, wise, Yemaya, friendly, Oshún. These sacred, the Trinity, the Iyami, only a woman who is also holding the sacred Trinity of femininity, of feminine power within her, can approach you because she is equal or greater. Not the fruit flies, not the women, not the devil worshiping women who have the spirit of Beelzebub, meaning they are so used to landing on low hanging fruit, rotten apples, which is women who have the gift of beauty but have low self esteem. All right. When you are better than other women, when you're more skilled, when you're more beautiful, when you are genuinely more kind, but also when you're wise enough to keep yourself to yourself and not prove that you're better than other women, but when you are simply a role model because everyone is attracted to you and your energy. So much attracted to you that they're repelled. That's the real magnetism. Um, but you know, when men are looking to use you, he will, this is what I'm saying, why men hate beautiful women. They only date you to get other women jealous enough to look at him as good. They only want to they don't like you, they can't fight, they can't defend you. The only reason a bitch made inferior man wants to date a beautiful woman when he does not like beautiful women. He likes ugly women. Why would he date a beautiful woman only to be more concerned with women who are less attractive than her with what they think? Because at the end of the day, he likes ugly women. He learned how to like ugly women from his mother. That's where he learned how to look at ugly women as valuable, or as what he can deal with. Because if he learned how to fight from his father, he would have his pick of women. Even if he had a small dick, if he knew without a doubt he could kill another man, particularly with his bare hands, particularly without a weapon, he would have no qualms. He would have no insecurity about being in public with the most beautiful woman that other men desired. That's why the more beautiful you are, you have to date a warrior. You have to date a man who can't wait for a reason to kill. These are the men who really like and love beautiful women. Everyone else hates beautiful women 10 times more if your skin is dark. 10 times more if you're an African beautiful woman. Why does everyone hate beautiful women? Because your beauty as a woman makes you more powerful. That is the number one power as a woman. You can be any other thing as a woman, but without being more beautiful than other women, you will never be as powerful as the woman who has the looks. Because as a woman, that's where your power lies. Because as a woman, you are powerful when you are blessed among men. Mary, Mother of Christ, was blessed among women. She's, it says she was blessed among women. A witch is blessed among men. That's the difference between a woman and a witch. The highest exaltation a human woman can achieve is having a baby, particularly having a male heir to a throne if she is queen sovereignty. A witch is exalted above the human already, because a witch has bloodline traits that are from heaven, angelic gifts. So that's why I continue to say a witch has hierarchy over a human man, and your beauty as a woman gives you power. And I talk to bloodborne witches a lot, but I talk to black women too about the importance of being beautiful. And lately, with the Beelzebub spirit that is running, it's running rampant in a lot of black women from the liberal agenda, the spellcraft of the liberal agenda, making men homosexual, making women butch, lesbian, and psychotic, turning everyone into lunatics, moon worshippers, worshiping the divine feminine when men need to be worshiping the divine masculine to keep balance. So a witch must be with a warrior or a warlock. Why? Warlocks are the only ones who like beautiful women. Everyone else hates us. Why does a warlock like beautiful women? Why is he the one who actually likes and wants to be with the most beautiful woman and likes her because she's more beautiful than other women? Because a warlock is always looking for a reason to kill someone. That's what a warlock does. And he's noble and he has a code of honor, so he's not going to kill without a reason. All right? Being with the most beautiful woman is going to get him ever so closer to a reason to kill someone, because a man is most likely going to try him over that woman's beauty. And as a warlock, because he enjoys fighting and enjoys killing and needs a good reason to, he likes beautiful women because they start war. Ugly women don't. Ugly women go to war over the men that they can't get as long as a beautiful woman is around, which is why ugly women do not want beautiful women around, because as long as there is no witches around, she can get a man. Everyone hates beautiful women except warriors and warlocks. The only men that like and enjoy and prefer and require a woman to be the most beautiful woman is a man who enjoys killing, a man who enjoys fighting, enjoys it, but will not do it unprovoked because he has code of honor. All right? The men who kill unprovoked without code of honor are more probably on the homosexual spectrum and probably are not interested in women so much at all, at all. But when you have these men of honor who have this sense of duty, the woman is the afterthought. The sex is the reward that he gives himself for completing a task. That's masculinity. And if he's going to reward himself, he's going to do it with a beautiful woman. An ugly woman is not a reward. So you have to understand, men who have a sense of duty, they want the most beautiful woman because that's his reward for being a man. These men who want ugly women and want to have a bunch of women around them, they plan on living the rest of their life having a bunch of female friends. So the woman he's with, she has to get along with women. She can't be threatening to women because he plans on having a bunch of female friends and he plans on cheating on whatever woman he's with. He's bitch made. He has no discipline. He has no intention of protecting that beautiful woman. He had intention on hiding behind her beauty and using her beauty as a shield to keep him from having to accomplish and perform masculinity in life. Ladies, you've got to watch that reel and where's my notes? And I'm telling you word for word. So he says other bitches may not be as pretty, but they're more powerful. And then he talks about women gravitating toward the woman he's with and that he wants a woman who can work the room or can the move the room moves around her. If you're so beautiful that people move away from you, you have moved the room. The room has moved around you. If you are so beautiful and your beauty is so powerful that people fear you and admire you, you have moved the room. What happens is when you are showing that you have that power, when your man starts to become afraid of your power, it's because he can't fight. He is now afraid of you and he's looking for some ugly bitches to be around because you scare him. So now he wants to he wants to go hang out with the ugly bitches that are afraid of you too. That's how he feels about you. He's more concerned how ugly bitches feel about you than how you feel. Ladies, your husband, the man who deserves your hand in marriage, will never put you in that position will never feel that way about you. That only an inferior man will. And most black men feel that way. Most black men are not going to date a beautiful woman because they deep down know they have not accomplished masculinity in life, and therefore they know they don't deserve the reward of being with the most beautiful woman who will give him the power if she sleeps with him. And ladies, a man who hates you, who can't stand you, who is afraid of you, he will still put his dick in you to see if he can take from you. And if you let him do that when he does not like you, he's going to think you're stupid. You may not be stupid, but if a man is showing that he doesn't like you by caring more about other women than you in any capacity, and you still sleep with him, he's going to think you're stupid, and he's going to treat you like you are. All right? This is why I say the more beautiful you are, the more careful you have to be with who wants your time and energy and attention. Don't let a bunch of lesser women buzz around you and gravitate toward you and suck up all your energy from the room when you are in the room and you choose who you go up and talk to. Don't let these ugly, awkward black girls come all in your fucking face and try and suck up all your energy when you have the power of your beauty and your presence, but more so the confidence of knowing that you are the most beautiful, knowing that you have the power, knowing that you are magnetic, and you decide who you gift with your presence. You don't let all these other women be all up in your face. Now, if you're married, probably because you're obese and light skinned, but nonetheless, if you're married, then you don't care about other women being all in your face because you don't need that space for a man. You don't need space to be inviting to a man because you're single. So if you're a married woman, fine. But again, if you're a married woman and you have the gift of Oshún, you need to keep your marriage and your relationship to yourself. If you're a married woman who is gifted, I wouldn't let people know that I was married at all. I wouldn't and people do know and everything. Um I would, you know, keep your marriage as separate from business as possible, so to speak. um Keep your marriage for only for and only for family and friends who preferably are also married and who you can share intimate couples moments with as a couple. Otherwise, you when you have the gift of Oshun, you got to understand other women are always going to be trying to take something from you. And it's going to look like, oh, I love your makeup. Oh, I love your shoes. Oh, I love that scarf. Oh, and it's not that other women can't compliment you, but when the compliment is followed up with them trying to suck up all your air, and they are not who you are there for. If you're there to network with some awkward black girl who has absolutely nothing to offer you except making you look worse than you look being powerful by yourself because she's buzzing around you like a gnat, like a fruit fly, with her awkwardness, with her smallness, with her unclean energy. Where's the uncleanliness coming from? It's not the Beelzebub spirit. It doesn't always have to be someone smells, or someone has roaches, or they actually have flies or bugs around them, or worms, or rot, or things rotting and molding and stuff. Beelzebub doesn't have to always look like that that stage of decay where the insects and pests are involved. It could look like low self-esteem, that someone behaves like a fly. It could look like someone having the power to fly, but their self-esteem is so low and their mindset is so victim minded that they behave like a fly, or that they express like a fly instead of um instead of angelic with wings. That's what the Beelzebub spirit can do. And so when I talk about these fruit flies, I'm talking about what this black man is saying when he wants a woman who attracts other women. No, only a weak man wants that. A strong man wants a powerful woman. And as a woman, your power comes from how you look, but also you being in control of how you look, not other people taking control of how you look and using it as a tool to benefit them without compensation. What do I mean by that? A model gets paid to put on an outfit, to rock on the runway, to walk in high heels, to do certain poses, to promote certain products or services. A model gets paid. And why do models look good? Because it doesn't matter how good you are and how skilled you are as a woman. If your looks are not better than the other woman that's skilled, your value is not as high as hers. And that is just in general. You're not going to sell as much. And the reality of it is while ugly women in social settings may flock to other women because they're insecure and they feel small, they have the spirit of insecurity, opposite of pride. They got the Beelzebub, all right? They are infested with the spirit of insecurity, and they become mean girls, and they exclude the woman who they admire. They exclude the woman that they know men would gravitate toward most. Women, even women, are not judging themselves by other women. They're judging themselves by a man's standards. So what type of man who has the most beautiful woman, who is the most high value in society, because men desire her the most? What type of man would have that type of woman and be more concerned with what the ugly girls think? The ugly girls wish they were her. And the closest they can get to being her is taking her man or trying to buy the same outfit or wear the same hairstyle that she's wearing. And it's going to look terrible on them because their face isn't shaped the same. Their skin isn't the same, has the same undertone. They have a different hair texture. They have all these different individual, unique things about them that is going to make what looks beautiful for the beautiful woman who will look beautiful in anything look terrible for that woman who looks good and who looks the best when she's trying to be herself. That's the difference between beauty. Beauty looks good even when it's ugly. But ugly women only look good when they're being themselves. And for a man to have the prize and to disregard it over ugly women, what that tells you what he is. Swine. He's trash. But more importantly, it's letting you know that he is 1000% aware that he's trash. And ladies, this is how a man will treat you when he knows you deserve better. He will still sleep with you. But he any and every time you are in public with that man, he's going to go out of his way to find a reason to demean you, degrade you, disrespect you, or disappoint you. Because disappointing you is going to do all of those things in one. And the number one way that a man who knows you deserve better than him and hates you for being beautiful, is going to disappoint you, is by not showing up for you on your birthday. And the number one way to know that you are the most beautiful woman, that you're the prize, and that you're dating a man who hates you and who knows that you deserve better. He will make sure on your birthday that he does not show up, that he disappoints you, that he somehow ends up going to dinner with your best friend who is also jealous of you. All these things, ladies, if you know, you know. But for the ladies who have the gift of Oshún, but have not figured out that everyone hates you yet, and have not figured out the Vodun aspect of Oshún, which is the spirit of the river. What does the river represent? It represents sweet water, also known as fresh water, the water that everything needs to live. So without your beauty, nothing can grow, nothing can live, nothing can be sustained, nothing can exist. Nothing will be attracted or pollinated to continue the species. Your beauty is paramount. That's why I'm saying a woman can be anything and everything, but if a female is not as beautiful, she will not be as powerful, no matter what other traits she has. That's why Oshún prevails over women. That's why witches have more sovereignty and are gifted over the woman, have more gifts than the woman, and her looks will demonstrate her gifts. That's why the witch, who's a satanic witch, has green skin, reptilian, warts, curse, a sign of curse. When a woman has her period, when a woman's going through her blood, when she's going through the purging, women tend to get acne, period bumps. So what is the satanic witch? You're constantly in a state of your blood. You're cursed as a woman. You're constantly in a state of bleeding. So that's the witch. That's the secret of the witch's wart. Thank you, Oshún, for that. Um, the green skin, the witch is, so that's why I differentiate a satanic witch, a woman who's made a pact with the devil, and her beauty comes from a glamour spell, versus her beauty is a representation of the gift the gift of witchcraft she has. And a lot of times you're dealing with a high level of empathy that goes into psychic power, and the high level of empathy that gets into being able to heal through touch, being able to move objects with your mind, being able to manipulate the cellular structure within elements, elemental bending, like in Legend of Korra and Avatar, The Last Airbender. When you're dealing with these high forms of sorcery and witchcraft, and dealing with the ancestral uh the dealing with the ancestral context of each. Again, Oshún, fresh water. Everything needs it to grow. So as a woman, the most important trait you can have is being beautiful, being pleasant, being refreshing, being a breath of fresh air, which is Erzuli. Her youth and her innocence represents that air elemental aspect of Oshún.
Hypergear Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
So
Hypergear Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
When you when you as a witch are gifted and you go into public spaces and you are friendly and you are warming, like this guy says he want his woman to be, so other women like her, because he cares more about other women than his own woman. When you are all these things and other women feel comfortable being close to you, and so so your beauty can rub off on them, so your power can rub off on them, so other people, when they look at that woman, they see you. They're already looking at you, but she is coming to be close to you because you are the most powerful woman in the room. You are the most powerful element in the room, and she is seeking power. So that's why these women gravitate toward you. She's seeking power. You have it. She wants to be seen. Stop letting women be in your face. If you're a single woman and you're going out and your intention is to meet men, don't let women suck up your space. It's better to leave if no men have approached you than to be in a place where a bunch of women, particularly a bunch of ugly Black women, or insecure Black women. And when I'm talking to other Black witches, I can't stress this enough. If you don't want to end up single, stop being at all these Black things and Black events. You're not gonna meet no serious Black man. You're gonna be Black men who are used to mediocre Black women with nothing to fucking offer, who will just do everything and act masculine and be busy because they don't have nothing better to do, and they will be all in your face just to get some of your power, and they will have nothing to offer you. They'll act like they do. Just because someone gives you a business card, just because someone says they own a business, just because someone is offering you something, doesn't mean they have anything to offer you that you as a Black woman need. Most Black women don't have nothing to offer Black women. If they can't offer you eligible Black men, they don't have anything to offer. And most Black women, all they know is other Black women who can't get a man. And they will look like it. They will not look conservative. They will look like they constantly get approval from other Black women who live around castrated men. Women who are around masculine men, they are meeting a certain standard of beauty, hands fucking down. They're meeting a certain standard of beauty. So if you want to tell how feminine a woman is, how much she likes men, or how many men she has in her life that she could potentially offer you, how many masculine, not homosexual men, how many masculine men are in her life, look at what standard of beauty she is meeting. If she's overweight, if she's got colorful hair, if she looks like a liberal, if she looks like a lesbian, if she looks like she gets enormous amounts of approval from from fat Black women, that's who she's around. If she looks like she gets enormous amounts of approval from ugly butch lesbians, that's who she's around. If she looks like she gets a lot of approval from rich men, from masculine men who spend most of their time disciplining their body and their mind, if she looks like she gets approval from men who have high spiritual or religious standards and practices, that's who she's around. And that's why I tell you, Black women, you not being single over 30 depends on your environment and where you spend most of your time. You hang around a bunch of Black women who can't get a man and can't figure it out. and are still have the ego of being a black woman, that they haven't accepted that you're the bottom of the barrel, and you're going to have to make some real social adjustments and some attitude adjustments in order to be able to get in the spaces and be in the places where you are getting a fraction of what you deserve that white women are handed. You're going to have to make some changes. And being around a bunch of egocentric black women who are not held to any beauty standard whatsoever in their community will end you up single, not around men. All the black men are around white women. They're going to California, or they're to be around white women. They're going to northern states to be around white women. Or they're going to Atlanta to be around other gay men. So black women, put yourself in places where white people are. Stop being hyper. It's great to be comfortable around your own kind. But if you are not a fat, light-skinned black woman, you're not gonna find a husband around a bunch of niggas. If you meet the standard of beauty, and I keep telling you, black men cannot afford to date beautiful women. You have to get around men who are trained and are held to a standard of fighting, killing, and making money. If you are not in communities that hold men to that standard, you're gonna see what the women look like. So that's what I'm telling you. There's nothing more powerful than looking better than other women as a woman. And it's not about keeping yourself together so you can be the most beautiful woman. It's about looking as best as you can possibly look as a woman, because there's always going to be someone more beautiful than you in the eyes of the beholder. That's the great thing about beauty. It's still in the eyes of the beholder. And you can be Oshún in one community. You can be the brightest and most beautiful from your looks. And in another community, they may look at you as Oya. They may value your wisdom and your bravery more than they value how you look. You know. And in another community, the only way you will get any sense of value is if you pop out a baby. So that's the most incredible thing about beauty, is it's always in the eye of the beholder. But if you are not practicing duafe, if you as a woman have not confronted your own jealousy, which means the things that you admire most, that you want to achieve, and turn that jealousy inward into achieving that goal. If you have not turned your jealousy into a goal that you want to accomplish, you're not going to have the gift of Oshún. You're going to be an ugly woman in groups of ugly women, and you're going to attract these men who manipulate you by making you jealous. These men who act like who use pretty women to make you jealous, and now they got you acting outside of your femininity. And now they got you being a mean girl. Now they got you throwing themselves at him when you would have never gave him the time of day or knew he existed if you weren't attracted to the woman he was with as a woman. If you didn't see that woman and admire her and say, man, I wish I looked like her, you would have never looked at her man. And a lot of you dumb women, you let men manipulate you by being around witches and playing around with witches and using pretty women to make you jealous. And now you're throwing yourself at him trying to compete with a pretty woman, because you feel you have access to her. You don't do that with these celebrities because you don't feel like you have access to these celebrities unless you are sick and crazy enough to be going around trying to meet these celebrities. And I'm not talking like honestly, honestly, as a woman, shoot for the moon because you might land on a star. So if as a man or a woman, if there's a celebrity that you're interested in and they're single, why not put yourself in their vicinity and spark up something? CIA agents do it all the time to keep tabs on their targeted individuals. So it's nothing wrong with, like I said, as a especially as a black woman, investing in putting yourself in the places that have the most eligible bachelors. But a lot of, again, a lot of crazy people, they see people with power and they become obsessed with that person who has that gift, who has that power, and they will stop at nothing to tear that person down. And in order to tear that person down, you got to get really close to them. The most respect you're going to get is somebody admiring you from a distance. When people go out and they see a beautiful flower and they pick it out, they pick it up and they plant it themselves. Yeah, they're admiring it, but you're also killing it. You're not letting it be in it beautiful in its element. You are trying to control it. You're trying to take that beauty for yourself. You got to understand there are a lot of sick, controlling, narcissistic people who see your beauty and see your power. And there are a lot of women out here. I'm talking to black witches right now. There are a lot of women out here who are very controlling. And when you are out in public and you are more powerful than them because you look better than them and you've done the work to look better. And remember, the only reason you look better than someone is because you figured out your best look. The more put together you look for how you look, the better than other people you will look. The reason you look better than other people is because people don't look their best for themselves. They're trying to look like someone else. They have not figured out what colors look the best on them, what materials are the most flattering, what patterns, what shapes, what textures. They haven't done the work to figure out beauty because they think you're dumb if you look good. They think you're stupid when it takes the highest intelligence to optimize your symmetry and proportion so you magnetize everything to you. It's alchemy. It's metaphysics looking good. And that's why you can tell how smart someone is by how good they look. Dumb people look ugly. And so when you go out and you look better as a woman, you look better than other women. You will always know how sick a woman is, how many mental disorders she has, because she's going to go out of her way to befriend you and be in your face. She's not going to leave you alone. She's not going to let you be in your element, and she's not going to let you soak up the energy of the room as you are going to do. She's not going to let you be in control of the environment. She's going to do everything to control you in the environment and make your space small by taking up your personal space. Ladies, don't be desperate to have friends when you're gifted. You look the best when you are around other models who look as good as you, better than you, or when you are standing alone. Which means you look the best, ladies, either when you are alone looking good or when you got a man who looks as good as you. When your man is as attractive as a man as you are as a woman, that's when you look your best. So, ladies, I don't care how lonely and this, and that. Don't listen to these people who tell you to settle and this, and that. You need to go to countries where people are more attractive. There are places and there are countries where, look at California. Those people, their whole entire culture is about looking good, looking beautiful, achieving the standard of beauty that they have set. Look at what places, Guinea or Togo, Benin, and look at these places that have the most gorgeous people you've ever seen. Black too. Or places like Sweden that have very attractive, good looking, model esque, angelic looking white people. There's places where people look good, and beauty is how everyone looks. And if you look better than other people, it will behoove you to move to a place where everyone is beautiful, not where you stand out so much. Because while as a black woman, as being a dark-skinned woman, being, um being a token can benefit you, when you're beautiful and when you're a witch, you don't want to be isolated. Your gifts are already isolating you. You want to go somewhere where, not like you're a dime a dozen, but you want to go somewhere where you're normal. You don't want to be constantly isolated, ostracized. That's why witches end up burned instead of burned at the stake, and all this and all these witch hunts, instead of just living a free, enjoyable life where people leave you the fuck alone. And that's the most respect someone can give you. The most respect you can get from someone is them leaving you alone. And that's why the liberal agenda is about crowding up the spaces where black people fight for our rights, and crowding up and plucking us up to fight their battles for them. Now that the middle class is dead and white people are either rich or poor, the liberal agenda is about these poor white people plucking the blooming flower of black revolution, and putting and planting it in their fucking pot of problems. The most respect any white person can give you as a black person, or to the most respect white people collectively can give the black race and the black community and black Americans, is leaving us the fuck alone. And that's the one thing they won't do. All right. So black women too. This is a lot of white women. They when you are sucking up all the attention in the room as a black woman, white women will crowd around you in a almost in a violent way. Instead of them getting together and ignoring you, they'll almost crowd around you and gang up on you, and circle around you so no men can get through to you. This is very common behavior for white women to do when a black woman is present, and she's only going to do it if a black man is around. When you're a black woman and you're the only black woman and you're the only black person, white women are not going to be threatened by you. They're not going to assume that the white men are going to be sexually attracted to you, that you could potentially get the attention of a man that they might like. They are only going to do it if there's a black man around. And they don't necessarily even need to want to the black man for themselves. The only form of racism is when white people prevent black men and black women from mating. That the number one form of economic prosperity is marriage. And then the only real way to tell if a white person is racist is how much do they prevent black men from marrying black women. And black women, when you are in spaces where there are black men around and it's predominantly white, a lot of the white women will crowd around you and, oh, you're so beautiful. And they'll treat you like Sarah Bartman and treat you like a zoo animal. Their intention is to keep the black man from coming up to you. So ladies, you never want to get a bunch of women crowding around you. You always want to get the attention from men. Especially if you're single. You don't want women's approval to be the catalyst. You want men's approval. You want men's approval. And a lot of women who hate men, they always say, oh, well, men like women that are young and this, that, and the pedophilia. Yeah, there's a lot of pedophilia going on. There's a lot of admiration for youth in America in general, in Hollywood. But that's more on the homosexual spectrum than it is the masculinity, conservative male spectrum. The pedophilia is more on the homosexual transgender. Masculine men like women. They like all types of women. If anything, they prefer women who are bigger, thicker, look like they'll survive childbirth. Women who can also hunt and gather and keep up with them. Real masculine men, they don't want a damsel in distress. They want a woman that can keep up, but they want a woman. They want a woman. And femininity and youth go hand in hand. And getting older doesn't mean you lose your youthfulness or your femininity that makes you attractive. So, ladies, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but you as a woman, you want to aim for the approval of men. You want to aim for the approval of your father. Men, you want to aim for the approval of your father. That's going to give you the most power and success in life. Your mother's going to love you unconditionally. Your father's going to set a standard for you that makes him look good and that makes his legacy look strong and looks like it's going to survive generation after generation. Your mother could give a damn. She loves you and she just wants you to love her. Your father's going to set a high standard for you to reach. And if your mother really, really loves you and doesn't just want to control you, so you love her no matter how nasty and disgusting she is or becomes as a woman, and she just wants to control you so somebody loves her, if your mother really, really, really loves you, she's going to set an extremely high standard for you too. And the reason you see so many Black women that are pathetic and trashy and wear bonnets and stuff is because their mothers hate them. Anytime you see a Black woman in an airport with a bonnet on, it's because her mother hates her. Anytime you see a Black woman in an airport or in a hotel or at a business, at a luncheon, at a dinner with pajamas on, it's because her mother hates her. Anytime you see a Black woman with the weave and the snuffleupagus eyelashes and her cosmetics make her look like a snuffleupagus or like a clown, it's because her mother hates her. Her mother never taught her the value of femininity, of hygiene, of the power of looking good in public. And when your mother hates you, she wants you to look good for her, but never look better than her. So she will teach you how to make her look good in public. She'll teach you how to make her look like she's raising you right in public so she doesn't get the label of being a bad mother. But she will never teach you anything that will make you better than her in life. So anytime you see a Black woman in a bonnet with pajamas on in a public place, it's because her mother hates her. All right. So, ladies, the most powerful you will be is looking your best at all times. Looking your best at all times. And a lot of Black men, Black women, a lot of Black men, they only date Black women. When they love Black women, when they only date Black women, when they love dark-skinned women, they're broke. And a lot of times, they will accept a woman who's not highly desired. And don't get me wrong, men, Black or not, do have fetishes for dark skin, just like some men have fetishes for light skin or for the things that they have fetishes for, a big ass or whatever they like. It's not that men don't have fetishes, for a certain phenotype. When late Black women, anytime someone is around Black people, is around Black women, loves Black women, this, and that, it's because they can't measure up. They can't measure up to the standard of their own race. You get these white men, they love Black women. They're either broke, they're intellectually, they can't measure up. They can't measure up somehow. And just like white men, just like Black men hide behind the skirts of white women so they don't have to confront racism and white supremacy. A lot of white men, they'll hide behind the skirts of Black women. They'll hide behind being loved and adored by Black women because they know they can go around Black women who don't get a lot of attention because they're Black, who don't get treated. They may get told they're beautiful, but they don't get treated like they're beautiful because they're not. They're not being treated equally to other women who meet us the standard of beauty. And white men that know that they can go around Black women and be treated like a king and be treated like he's the best man and he's like the perfect gentleman. If he just tells any old ugly Black woman she looks good, and she may look good, she may be a beautiful Black woman, but if she's insecure and she's not used to being treated a certain way, white guys know that they can go around Black women and treat her the way she deserves to be treated, but isn't getting treated, and he can look like a king. And he can get away with things that white women probably wouldn't put up with from him. All right. Um he can get away with lacking certain qualities of manhood around Black women who are just flattered that somebody likes them. And that's how a lot of Black women act. And that's why a lot of Black women, when they see another Black woman who is more powerful than her because that Black woman looks better than her and is more put together than her and is not thirsty for attention, is not thirsty for friends, is not thirsty for something to prove, is not out here with something to prove like a lot of Black women are, loud and proud for no fucking reason. The most powerful thing you can be as a Black woman is silent. Be silent and be poised. Don't be out here thirsty to go up to people, this, and that, unless you are really, really, really doing business. And if you look better than everyone in the room, let people come up to you. They gonna want to, real business people only want to do business with beautiful people because they understand sales has everything to do with looks and has everything to do with power and manipulation. And the easiest way, the most powerful way to manipulate people is to look good. That's why men who are trash, if they can manipulate a beautiful woman into thinking that he likes her, and if he can just manipulate a beautiful woman into being seen in public with him once, he knows that all the ugly women will throw themselves at him. And then he'll start saying, I don't like pretty women, and oh, I look for a personality more, and this and that. No, you like ugly girls, and you use beautiful women to attract ugly girls. And if that beautiful woman isn't stupid and she's smarter than you and she's not letting you play in her face, she's not letting you parade her around like a trophy just to get used and just to get, if she's not letting you manipulate her and she requires you to be a man, now you don't like her. Now you want a girl with personality. Now you want a girl who has a bunch of female friends. Now you have a girl that other women like. Now you want a bitch who isn't as pretty, but she can maneuver, she has power. That men Black men always want to date a woman who has more than he does. He does not want to date a woman he has to protect or provide for. He wants to date a woman who has more. He wants to date a woman who has her own shit so he can move in with her. He wants to date a woman whose credit is better than his so she can finance the things that he wants. She wants to date a woman who has more friends than he has so he can have sex with them. Once dating her makes him look better. He wants to date a woman who has more than him as long as she is dumb. So a Black man will date you if you look good, if you look better, as long as you are too stupid to set boundaries, as long as you are nice and stupid and let people use you to accomplish their goals. If you look good, you have to be stoic. Then one other nigga gonna talk about some, oh yeah, you want her to bring good energy into the room. Black witches, stop bringing, you are good energy. If you looking good is bringing is wherever you're at, you're making that place look good, and you're making everyone who is around you feel more important than they actually are, because they are around the most beautiful person they've ever seen in their life, and they know that that's power. And if you are too stupid to know that that's power, you are going to keep getting used, and Oshún will teach you a lesson by allowing weak men to play in your face, break your heart, or degrade you in public to where other women um are stealing from you. All right? Start going out alone, witches. Go out alone. If your female friends cannot measure up to your beauty, and if your female friends cannot measure up to your confidence, which is where your beauty comes from. If they are not as confident as you, please go out in public by yourself. Particularly if you're single and want to meet a good man. Go out in public by yourself. Stop having these gnats, these fruit fly women with low self-esteem, no confidence, low IQ, don't know how to figure it out, can't figure out how to be powerful, ain't chosen for nothing, and it is a dog, act like dogs chasing their tails, and they get all their confidence from being loud, angry Black women who think that they know better than white men who are rich. They get confidence from being liberal and being in the liberal agenda where they are accepted, because they cannot go into conservative places. They cannot go and be around masculine men and get the approval from masculine men for being a high value woman. So they stay in the liberal agenda where they get approval for being a fucking fruit fly. And what do fruit flies flock around? They flock around fruit that is molding, that is rotten. And they start as little maggots before they become these annoying little flies. So that's what I'm saying. Do not let these parasite women who you meet out in public, who are flocking towards you because you have more beauty than them, don't let them burrow their way into your life. You don't have to be friends with everyone just because they're in your fucking face. You can choose who you want to be friends with. And how the friendship grows is you consistently pour into each other. If there's a woman who is sucking up your air, and the only reason a woman is going to do that and lack the empathy to know how much space to give you is because she has a mental disorder. I don't care how much victim they seem, narcissists lack empathy. And anytime a woman is sucking up your space and not giving you space to be beautiful, and she's trying to throw shade on you, she's bringing her shade and her shadow and her annoying awkwardness around you, you know? Um, anytime a woman is trying to block you from growing, that's narcissism. That's a lack of empathy. That's I don't care how you feel. I only care how I feel in this moment. And in this moment, the most powerful and in control I can be is to control you and show everyone in the room that I have control over you because you are the most powerful thing. And if I can just control you by acting like I want to be your friend. And a lot of times these women don't know it. They think that they are excited because they see another black girl. They're not excited because they see another black girl. They are anxious because they see another powerful woman and they think too fucking high of themselves. And seeing you humble themselves and and instead of just being humble and going back to the fucking drawing board, or instead of just being humble and accepting that they live in a world where there are other women who are powerful, where there are other women who are beautiful, where there are other women who are witches, instead of giving you your space, she's going to try to control you. The most respect someone can give you is leaving you the fuck alone. And I realize it's not normal that every time I leave the house, someone tells me how beautiful I am. I have to understand that what is annoying to me because it happens so often, and it happens often because I don't have bodyguards, I don't have security guards, I don't drive. So I'm in public spaces a lot. I'm in the public a lot, like Christ. And I have to remind myself constantly it is not normal that every time I leave the house, a perfect stranger is letting me know how beautiful I am. And it's not just them looking at my face and them, and every time I leave the house I am having an enormous effect on people because they have never seen a woman as beautiful as me. They've never seen a black woman who they want representing the race. And to go and to have that enormous power, I have to understand that I have taken responsibility for how I look, but I have to also understand it's not normal. And what I experience every day of my life is not normal. It's not normal. Um, and I have to actively imagine what it could be like to go out of the house and only and to go out. I what it's like for someone to compliment me out of pity instead of out of genuinely being moved by the work of art that God created me. What do I mean by that? I don't know what it's like for someone to actually compliment me because they feel bad for me, to tell me that I look good or that I'm nice because I'm actually ugly. And so many black men, they do that to black women. They say black is beautiful and they say go natural and they say all these things when they're saying it out of remorse, out of pity, out of regret, out of pity. Because these Black women cannot measure up to the beauty of other women with different features that are more sexually arousing. And I have to really imagine that there are people out there and they look at me and they can't imagine that I feel pain. They can't imagine that I hurt or could be insulted or could have my heart broken. They just look at me and they see the most beautiful woman that they've ever seen in their life. And I know that's what they think, because that's what I think every time I look in the mirror, and it freaks me the fuck out. So when people approach me the way they do, I know it's genuine. But they don't stop to think that I just want to be left the fuck alone. They need to be the one to say and let me know. And I have to, and that level of beauty, it has humbled me, because I'm understanding that people are worshiping me by going out of their way, minding their business, and tripping over themselves and getting into car accidents and bumping into other people and losing their balance, or making their woman mad, just to let me know how beautiful I am, how good I look. That's not complimenting. That's not trying to make themselves feel better by making someone ugly feel better, which is what most people do when they compliment someone. That's not them trying to, co-sign. That's not just someone saying I look good because they are also a Black woman and they are co-signing their own vanity. No, people are worshiping me. People are worshiping God that I believe created me, essentially, with these gifts. People are giving praise and honor and reverence. They're worshiping. And that is something that no matter how skilled a woman is, no matter how great her personality is, no matter how many children she has or what she can do, or no matter what qualities a woman has, she will never be worshiped unless she's beautiful. Because she will never bring honor to God, and she will never bring honor to her man unless she's beautiful. That's what people trip and fall over and worship about a woman, is that her beauty is a representation of the entire nation. And thank you for being beautiful, because you are the best we have to offer. And we can offer you up to God. You represent us. And it's not just Black people who love how beautiful I am. It's a lot of races, but I know what it's like to be worshiped. There's a lot of celebrities who, if they didn't have their fame, or if they didn't have the wealth required to become famous, because they didn't have to work for a living, they would not know what it's like to be worshiped because of how they look. And that's why they get plastic surgery, to look like me. So the beginning of being gifted as a woman is looking different and better than other women. And it's not about comparison. This is just reality, and it's just science. And it's not that the skin deep looks. Your looks are a reflection of what is going on inside of you. Your looks are a reflection of your femininity. And that's why it is so important, Your looks are a reflection of how much you honor men. And if you look better than other women, if you look so much better than other women that you find yourself single over 30 because men hate you, they're afraid to date you, they can't afford to date you, they can't fight on your behalf. They were raised by ugly mothers who they can't bring you home to because she's going to be jealous of you and she plans on enslaving her son the rest of his life to her. You got to understand, ladies, your looks will tell you everything about a man. That's why it's important to always look your best, because looking your best is going to set a standard for anyone who wants to be in your life. And the only people who are going to approach you are extreme narcissists or people who are as powerful, if not more powerful than you. So, ladies, the moment you are dating a man and he shows you that he likes ugly women because he cares about what an ugly woman thinks, he's flirting with an ugly woman, he's letting an ugly woman disrespect you, please be done with him in that instance. There are two types of men. There's two types of men in this world. All right? There are men who like beautiful women and there are men who like ugly women. There are men who like the attitude, the energy, the status, the experience of being around beautiful women. And there are men who like the energy, the attitude, the status, and the experience of being around ugly women. All right? How do you know? I mean, you know when a man likes an ugly woman and why, and and here's the thing, what I mean by like. All men will sleep with a beautiful woman. All men will sleep with an ugly woman. When a man has a preference and when he likes and refuses to be around the other type, men who like beautiful women, they do not like ugly women. They're not going to be seen with an ugly woman in public. They're not going to date, marry, or have sex, or definitely not have a baby with a ugly woman. They're not going to do business with men who are around ugly women. They don't like that energy. They don't like that lifestyle. They don't like that. They like beautiful women. And I explained why in the beginning of this upload. They like beautiful women because they like to fight. They know how to fight. And they have a moral code. They like beautiful women because being around beautiful woman is his reward for performing masculinity in society. Men who like ugly women, they're not performing masculinity in society. They're not measuring up. And what I mean by this is, don't think a man just because he's with an ugly woman, oh, he's settled because he liked a beautiful woman and she rejected him. Stop falling for that shit. Short men, there's short men. There's men with small dicks. There's men that are broke who will still not be caught dead with no ugly woman because they have enough confidence, self-esteem, and self-respect to know that they deserve a woman who at the very least they are sexually attracted to. So stop letting men say, oh, well, oh, because he's shorter than 5'5", and oh, well, all the pretty girls or all the this girls, they didn't want me because I wasn't tall, dark, and handsome. I wasn't a black guy. I didn't have a big dick. I didn't have a bunch of money. I didn't have this type of car. That's not why they're with the ugly girl. They're with the ugly girl because they like ugly women. No man is going to let no amount of being broke, being short, having a smaller dick, no man is going to let none of that stuff stop him from pursuing the woman that he likes. And this is real. A man is not going to let no fucking circumstance stop him from pursuing the woman he likes. He, as a man, is going to let his testosterone work for him, and he's going to solve the problem. That's what a man does. He solves the problem. He solves the problem. Why would a man who has the most beautiful woman on his arm care about what other ugly women think about his woman? Because he plans on spending the rest of his life letting ugly women solve his problems. And he realized being with a beautiful woman is going to be a problem because I have to take on a responsibility of protecting her. But if I'm with an ugly girl who's loud and is soaking up all the attention and getting everyone to like her because she's not a threat to other women, then I don't have to fight for her. I don't have to defend other men. I don't have to stop other men from trying to sleep with her. But when I'm with this pretty girl, I have to be masculine, and I'm not masculine. I'm a borderline faggot. That's what these men are, and that's what their thought process is when they date ugly women. No masculine man is going to date an ugly woman. Every time you are looking at these men who have these masculine, butch, unattractive women, you're looking at a homosexual, or you're looking at a man who is so low class and so low educated and incapable of making money without the help of a woman that he has chosen to be with a sugar mama to get by in life because his education is so low that he, or his laziness is so high that he refuses to go out into the world and work for a living. And there are a lot of men like that, as long as they can get away with it. And you got a lot of black men that will sleep with any race of woman because she just has to have some black dick. And there's a lot of, it's obvious when a white woman is dickmatized like that, but a lot of black women just have to have some black dick. And they get away with being stigmatized and addicted to black men because they themselves are black. But the thing is, they're addicted to black men, and they will put up with the worst type of treatment and the most feminine, least masculine men just because he's black. A lot of black men know that a lot of women, particularly older women who are going through a hormonal phase, maybe menopausal, whatever you want to call it, but sometimes it's just divorce. Sometimes it's just a man left her in heat. Sometimes she's going through a hormonal phase, and she will pay for a black man. She will essentially pay for a black man. She will eat her own bread, wear her own mantle, have all the things. She will require him to have nothing except dick. She will not even require fidelity, sexual exclusivity. She just wants to be able to have access to having a sexual experience with him when she wants to. Ladies, don't worry about what men do. You don't want to be behaving like a man as a woman in your life. If you're a single woman and you have to survive, make sure men are giving you money. But please don't behave like a man. Don't propose to a man. Don't buy men. Don't 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 become addicted and fall in love with a male stripper. Don't become addicted to a male sex worker and give all your money to him the way these men give all their money to women for sex or this and that. You want to always behave as the woman. You always want to be in the woman position. You want to be the one who the man is paying. Don't ever become like no man where you're paying men. to have sex with him. And ladies, I say this with a grain of salt because you're grown women and you deserve to have the best sexual experience that you can have, but you don't want to be falling in love with no male sex worker. You don't want to fall in love with no male sex worker. You don't want to fall in love with men who sleep with multiple women. You don't want to give your heart and your money and your body to a man who is not committed to you. So don't be out here acting like a man, because your emotions, your hormones, you will get tied up in certain ways and you'll lose out. And while it's great to have great sexual experiences, it's better to keep yourself to yourself. It's better to uh, I would say it's better to be celibate. Um I mean, unless you can really get some bills paid. Unless a man can perform the duties of a husband, you know, you 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 don't want to be wide open for a man who's not yours. You want to be wide open for a man who you know that you can access at any time, and more so a man who you know will put you first. So ladies, especially witches, especially black witches who get used a lot and who are expected to be so powerful just to be used by people who have nothing to offer you, who are not trying to pour into your cup and fill you up. They're just trying to drink your water and eat your fruit and take your gifts for themselves. And they don't know what to do with these gifts. Um, please be careful. Look at the real, listen to him, and learn and understand that this type of bullshit that black men say, it's not cute. It's not the way to think. Ladies, you don't want to deal with men like that, and let them think that. It's not your job to change his mind. Black women, stop trying to save black men. Stop trying to save black men. Black women, stop trying to save black men. Let black men say, do, and think the stupid shit that shows how inferior they are. Let them figure it out. Let them end up alone. Let them end up with these demonic women that are going to control them. Let them end up looking stupid because of the type of woman that they chose. Let them figure it out, black women. Get as far away from them as you can, because the further you get away from these men who need to hide behind a woman's skirt to get by in life, the closer you're going to get to men who have passed rites of passage to be with a woman, and the closer you're going to get to men who can fight, who can kill, who have money, who can build, who can hunt, men who have enough masculinity and enough testosterone to satisfy you as a woman. If you're not with a man who can fight, who can kill, and who can hunt, as a woman, there's no reason to be with a man. You do what you want sexually, especially if you're single, and don't let society judge you. You are single. You can do what you want sexually. I make suggestions, but understand there's no reason to be with a man or commit to a man. Now, if he has proven he can protect and provide for you, and then he gets injured, he's done his part. He's fought for you. He's proven that he loves you. He's proven he can protect and provide for you. Now he gets injured. Now you can prove that you love him by taking care of him after he's your husband. Man gets injured, lose his job. If a man gets injured or loses his job or gets sick, it's because he's stupid. Smart men don't ruin their livelihood. They're careful, they're meticulous, they pay the fuck attention. They don't make stupid decisions. So if he's doing those things, he's probably on this he's not as smart as other men who stay healthy and stay active in their 60s, 70s, and 80s because they don't do stupid things. However, the other reason he may get injured or sick is because he's doing what men do, which is he's protecting and he's providing and he's defending you. So, it's great. It's a privilege to be able to take care of a man who has fought to earn the right to marry you. That's a privilege. Most women will never have that privilege or that blessing. They'll never know what it's like to have been loved by a killer. They're only loved by men who if who sleep with other men in their free time and marry them out of convenience. So ladies, please take this seriously. Please take being beautiful seriously. Please take setting boundaries with other women until these women prove that they can enrich your life instead of just making you look bad. When you are put together, don't let no any old woman come up and try and try to put you on in public by being next to you. You don't gotta let these women control you by sucking up all your air in public because you look good and they want to be seen next to you because they have control issues and because they think too fucking much of themselves. Ladies, if you look good, you choose who your friends are. You choose what women you get to be seen in public with. You choose who you have conversations with. And if you don't, if someone's making you uncomfortable, leave. Walk away. Set a boundary. Excuse yourself. Go strike up a conversation with the person who's more interesting. Your beauty gives you options. Start choosing wisely. Beautiful women, stop having these ugly, mean, man-hating, can't get a man, butch, jealous, bitter women around you in the name of being friends. And all she's doing is blocking your blessings. Stay away from this dude talking about he gonna talk about some. Now I look at how other women receive her. I don't care how physically beautiful she is, how fine she is, how much makeup she got on. I care about how other women receive her. That, ladies, that's a huge red flag. No man you're dating should give a fuck about any other woman except for you. For any fucking reason. That's why I tell you, stop dating these mama's boys and stop dating these men who have a bunch of female friends. Stop dating these men who got to answer to his sister, his aunt, his niece, his daughter. Stop dating men with other women. A man who got other women in his life and got to answer to some other females, some other female relatives and shit. Get his money and keep it moving. Get his money. But don't take no man who's got other women in his life. Don't take a man like that seriously. He's not eligible. A man is only eligible when he has space to move another woman into his house and he has no other woman to answer to, especially not his mother. He can love his mother. He can have a great relationship with his mother. You want to be able to get along with his mother to make sure she's a beautiful woman like you are, to make sure she actually raised him right. Because one of the biggest reasons a lot of marriage fail and divorce happens is in-laws. So ladies, you want to be able to see that his parents are not that, especially his mother. You want to make sure that his parents and his mother are not crazy and don't have mental disorders or and things like that, that you can get along with them, that they raise him with similar values. Because divorce happens because people who have sexual fetishes for each other, usually interracially, they think it's exciting to date someone who's a completely opposite race or a completely has a complete opposite background from them. They think it's exciting, it's taboo, it makes them look like they have character and in public, and then your values are completely different, and then god forbid you bring these weird mutated ugly ass looking children into the picture, because mixed children look mutated. They look like that redhead thing with the big nose, and people with the big, they look mutated. They look like they look mutated. Their ears be too big for their fucking head. They're, you know what I'm saying? That you can always tell because they have these African ears that are meant for African shaped heads, but they have a European shaped head, and they have these big African ears and these African nostrils with like a European shaped nose with African nostrils. They look mutated. They're not attractive people. They're not attractive, you know, unless they mama was black or something. But you know, I'm just being biased now, but like what I'm saying is people get married because they have these little sexual kink things. You know, they're dating someone that makes them feel like exciting, and you have different backgrounds, and then you can't agree on how to raise the kids, you know. So that's why I would always warn, especially women, please make sure that his mother um raised him right, and that his mother is not going to become a problem in your marriage before you get serious with a black man. Please, and a man in general, but a lot of white men have a father in the home, so their mother did not control them and take over. A lot of white men, they played sports, they had to achieve masculinity because they had a father, and the father cared about how the kids looked in public and made him look in public as a man. So he made sure that they met certain standards. That's not true for a lot of black people. A lot of black people have bitter mothers, so they have these black nuances and like these black culture, you know, little creative things, you know, like speaking ebonics, or you know, knowing how to fry chicken or some stupid you know, some cultural shit, but like things that are inapplicable outside of slave syndromes culture. So make sure that he was raised right, because a lot of black women, their son is the closest thing they'll get to having a black man do anything for them. All right. um so that's what I'm saying. A lot of you know, a lot of divorce happens because people don't have the similar values. So before you move forward with the man, see what type of values he was raised with, because that's what you're going to have to deal with if you have a relationship with him. And there's there's freedom to being single, ladies. There's freedom. Loneliness, yes, but if you are truly independent, you value your freedom more than you value social acceptance, having a partner, getting validation from being married, the status that comes with being married. If you really are independent, you value your freedom above all. And being free is like it's not being locked up. It's not being in prison. So a relationship is a blessing as long as it doesn't become a prison, you know. Um there's a lot of freedom in being single. And if you commit to the wrong person, and you know, and you've made sacrifices to change your life around to be with this person who does not love you, who does not put you first, who puts his mother his sister, his daughter, his co-workers, the ugly bitches at the club before you. That's misery. Please stay single. And unless you are marrying a killer. Peace and love.